Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over how to make melodic trap beats that are perfect for sending out to artists. We got a very talented producer joining us for today's cook-up. He's produced for artists like Future, Lil Baby, Gunna, Lil Durk, G Herbo, and many more. We got a real cool interview and cook-up for you guys today. With that said, I'd like to welcome to the channel AyoSim. Let's go. So for the first question is, what's one unique studio session that you remember having?
I swear this is probably like the most crazy session like ever. So it was my first time coming to Atlanta. Me and Jacob had been working for like a couple months now. You know, we were staying locked in, and then I was like, you know what, let me just go out there for a couple of days. First day, Jacob was busy. I didn't get to link up with him. I had a feeling that night though, after the first day, I was like, you know what, maybe tomorrow will be something crazy. And then the next day, nothing. And then later around like 9 p.m. or something, he tells me to pull up somewhere. We pull up, we just chill for a little bit, and then we head to the studio. Right when we walk in, first person I see is Travis, Travis Scott, and we walk right up to him, and I wasn't expecting him to be there. Jacob wasn't expecting him to be there either. And so we meet Trav real quick, we chop it up with him, and then we're starting to walk to the A room. And then in the A room, we walk in and Moneybagg Yo is in there, and he's recording, and he's just kind of chilling. It was crazy. Nah, it gets even crazier though. So then Jacob texts me because he's on the other side of the room, and he's like, get some stuff ready for Future. We about to be in with him. Then we walk into the B room, and Travis is in there recording. I look through the sliding doors, and I see Young Thug. This is swear to God, bro. And he's in the lobby, he's in the kitchen area, and he's just chilling. Like I just see him. And then, bro, like this, it just gets crazier and crazier. Somebody walked in. I didn't know who it was or nothing, so he just starts dapping everybody up. He gets up to me, and then I see him, and I'm like, holy like I didn't recognize him from far. He daps me up, and I'm just like, what's up, Tro? Like it was Metro. Metro came in, and 10 minutes go by, Future walks in, and it felt like the slowest like 10 seconds of my life, bro, because he's tall as hell. He's a tall dude, so him walking in, coming in, like all like, you know what I'm saying, looking around and stuff was dope. And it was dope, bro, because when Future sat down, he told the engineer to play 2 songs, and both were produced by me and Jacob. So that's when I knew like he knew who I was, because he was playing those 2 for me to hear, which was so dope. It was a really like crazy experience, bro. That whole session, whole day was, it was surreal.
All right, so I want to send Sim over something smooth. I'm gonna be at like that 120 BPM. For the chord progression, I kind of want to just have maybe like 4 chords, little top line melody, but something that's real smooth and open for an artist. Let's go. All right, so after recording it a whole bunch of times, I finally got this take, and I edited it just a little bit, but we finally have something that we could use. So let's go ahead and hear it, and I'll kind of break down to you what exactly I did to kind of make this chord progression and how you can do it inside the piano roll. So let's hear it first. So I'm gonna just let it repeat, but I just started off with a chord starting on the 1 of the scale, which is gonna be B. Skip every note in the scale, and we get the B minor chord, right? And then what I did is drop down to a G, and then to another G, up to an A. So we'll go over here, we drop down to G first, right here. Skip a note in the scale, place, skip a note, place. This is the major chord, G major, and then we go up 1 to A, skip a note, place, skip a note, place, and we have an A major chord. Now you can take these and you can take things like the 3rd of each chord and bring them up an octave, control up arrow, and then you can start to strum different parts of it. So let's say we took these, we duplicated them. So shift over, control up, and then we could take certain notes like this and start to bring them in and kind of create like a strummed feel down here. We could do the same here. You can even bring this one up 1 octave if you wanted, and then strum these out. I like that a lot. And then you just add a top melody to it, kind of go off here, see what you like, and that's it. What got you into producing, and when did you start?
I started producing in high school, actually. The crazy story is, it was actually my friend that told me we should take this music class, and I was like, why would I waste my time taking this music class, all that. And then I ended up just taking it. My boy ended up dropping it like within a week, and I ended up just falling in love. I just made a good connection with the teacher, and he would just like let me stay after school, use the studio, because we had a studio at our school, which was dope. And I would always get to close it up and whatnot. So that's kind of how I started. And then right from the jump, bro, that was like, I knew that was what I wanted to do for good,
So this is a keyscape piano running into a little bit of a hollow vintage reverb. And what I'm going to do is copy this over to the guitar. The guitar I used is picked acoustic right here from Native Instruments. And I'm just going to paste that in. Probably got to bring this up an octave. So let's go ahead and hear what this sounds like. Let's put it on its own mixer track. Want to add a little bit of delay to it. Next thing I want to do is get some vocals in here. So I have Arcade loaded up. I have this Better Off preset in the hooked bank. I have B minor selected, and I found this note right here. Where is it at? This one right here sounds good. But what I want to do for this, and I have this whole processing chain right here, portal, some EQ, reverb, delay, and then some more EQ. What I'm going to do is actually go right here to Edison, and I'm going to record some random vocals in. I do this sometimes so I could just pick out random vocals that I like and record them in. So let's go with this one. And then I can go through Arcade and kind of find different vocal chops without having to like open it up a whole bunch of times, clone it, and have a whole bunch of CPUs. So it's a cool trick that you could do. And then you could just play the beat in the background and see what vocals you like, then record them in Arcade. It's kind of like a little finesse. Like that one sounds cool. Let's record that one in as well. Over here, record. Perfect. Let's keep going. It's just that last part. So right there. So let's find one more. Yeah, that one's it for sure. Before we jump into like all the placements, when you first started out, were you like selling beats? Were you sending out loops? How did you end up like linking with Jacob? Like what was the whole start of when you were producing to kind of get to those levels in like a small summarized little section?
Right off rip, you know, I was really like focused on making money, to be quite honest. So I really was heavy on BeatStars, and I wanted to, you know, post beats and get artists to rap on my stuff quick. And then, you know, as time went on, it shifted a lot. I feel like I remember the day where I was like, you know what, I just want to focus on industry stuff. I felt like my talent deserved to go a little bit further. And that's where I was like, you know what, let me start networking the right way with these industry guys. And hopefully, you know, I could start landing placements and stuff like that. And then that's how, you know, me and Jacob kind of connected, was literally through Instagram. Instagram, I shot him DMs. I started tagging him in my stories and whatnot.
What year was that?
I'd say like 2019. Yeah, 2019 was when we locked in.
All right, so we got all the vocals right here. Let's just find what order we want to place them and how they sound. So we'll just solo them one by one and kind of see what sounds cool. That one should definitely be the first one. Yeah, that's the second one. It's just trial and error. Sounded crazy though. That one pitched down sounds good. And then add some reverb to all of these. But I want to have like a bigger pre-delay. I like how this sounds. I might add like a quick little lead to this, but nothing really too much else. And then I'm going to stem this out. If you haven't tried Arcade and you're interested in trying Arcade, I do have an affiliate link in the description, which will give you a 30-day free trial. I earn a small commission from the affiliate link at no extra cost to you. If you're interested in trying it out, make sure to hit that link in the description. So what was your first major placement? The first time you heard an artist on your beat, unreleased and released?
First release, it was before I even like went to Atlanta or anything, and that was it was with T Grizzly, and it was produced by me, Jacob, and Chop Squad DJ, and it was dope, bro. It was actually on the day of my prom when that came out, so it was like a cool and we went to like Seaside afterwards and everything, so everybody was it was a dope ass experience. So that was the first one.
In Producer Royalty with Daniel, shout out Producer Royalty, you have mentioned that you have a whole bunch of songs with Future. So do you know off the top of your head like how many unreleased songs you might have with them, or at least how many you've heard?
I mean, I've heard like 6, bro, but I've like Jacob has let me know we probably have well over like 15, which is dope. To be able to even hear a couple of them was like, man, like these need to drop. I need to hear these come out, you know?
Yeah, and with Future, he stacks up on music. So like, you never know, like it could just all drop. He's always stacking up on music. All right, the last thing I added was lead 3 from my Eternal Analog Lab bank, and that's running into some reverb. And I just have like 1 note right here and 2 notes at the end. They just kind of add like a smooth little lead to this. I have it soloed with the guitar so you could really hear it. Then we'll play the full loop before we stem it out and send it over to Sim. And then everything all together sounds like this. Clean. So we'll stem it out. I'm gonna turn this vocal down just a little bit. But yeah, just to do that real quick, all we do is go over here and then we hit split by channel, and let's move these vocals out the way real quick. Go like that. We got these 3, 1, 2, 3. We're not missing anything. Cool. Bring this over like that. Cool. And then I'm gonna hit Control T. That was super messy, but it worked. Control T, place markers. There we go. Boom, like that. Then Control A, go in here like that. Alt R, and let's throw this to 24-bit, and that's it. Now I'm gonna send it over to Sim. Kind of switch it up real quick. What's something that you do outside of producing, like daily, just like a different hobby that you do outside of producing that producers haven't seen or don't know?
One thing I've been obsessed with, bro, out of nowhere, Muay Thai, like martial arts, like doing MMA style stuff, jiu-jitsu. Like I've really just randomly gotten into it just because like it feels like I'm playing a sport again, which is cool. But above all, the workout is like nothing else. You know, I'm like, I want to compete. You know, I really want to eventually compete somewhere, which would be so cool. Like just refresh my life, literally. Like it feels great doing that stuff.
All right, what's one VST you can't live without?
You know what? I would want to say Analog Lab, but I'm thinking more effects. If y'all have heard of Thermal, Thermal is like my favorite. Like it just adds like color to your sounds, and it just makes it sound more vintage and more like analogy. That's what I always love. You know, of course, Analog Lab on the VST, like the synthesizer side, because you can't go wrong with Analog Lab. It's got so many sounds in it. You know.
So the placements you have with Gunna, you have a couple songs with him. How did those ones come about?
It was earlier last year, 2023, when I moved to LA for a couple months. I started working closely with Kenny Stunton. That's who did Back to the Moon with me. And shout out to Kenny. You know, it wouldn't have been possible without him. And ironically, like Gunna's whole team was not too far from where I was living at in LA. So Kenny would pull up on me like all the time. We would always work on stuff. So it was that simple, bro. You know, Kenny was just pulling up on me. He was really locked in with Gunna like that. So we just worked on a whole bunch of vibes for him, and we landed that.
You know, it's crazy. Before we talked, that was one of my favorite songs off that album. When we started talking and I found out that you produced that, I was like, bro, this just makes this song so much cooler. Like
That's dope.
All right, so last question I got for you, bro, is do you have any advice for up and coming producers or just producers in general, whether it comes to production, like what we do, or even outside of that, just general like life advice type stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like honestly one of like the biggest things I would prioritize, or I even prioritize this, is just traveling, getting out to different cities, getting to cities where, hip hop or whatever genre you're in is like very, very popular. Not only are you gonna meet people and stuff, but it's also gonna give you like a very refreshing taste of like what you're doing. That's the biggest thing for me. Of course you gotta make sure you have a good network before you start doing that. You don't want to just go out to LA and just link up with nobody. It's like you want to have some kind of something built up. And again, I stress this all the time, but like Instagram is a great way to kind of utilize your network, and really like build that up. You need to refresh yourself. You can't just be cooking up at home all the time. Eventually, you're just gonna get tired of it, bro. Like you need to get out. You need to meet people. You need to be more personable. So that's like my take on that.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time inside for sure. Well, man, I really appreciate you coming out here, bro, and sharing your story. I think it's going to be really inspirational for a lot of the producers watching. I don't know, bro. There's just so many gems in this one that's just going to be crazy. So with that said, appreciate you, bro. Could you tell everybody where they can find you, socials, your website, all that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you having me on here, bro. And just the Instagram is just one AyoSim, AYOSIM. I want to help y'all get better as well. So definitely tap in with me. I'd love to help you guys in your journey wherever you're at as well. So